Hello, 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 everybody. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with a special numerology teaching on the number 11. We have a special assistant here. We have Donald Duck. So the numbers are very, very important. I wish that they had taught more about numerology in school, but since they did not, let's talk about it here, okay? Let's get into it. So the number 11, okay? Now we know that the number 1 by itself is very powerful, and I'll get into that in just a second, but when the number one, this number one becomes this number here, 11, the original creative mind of leadership starts to happen, right? So if you've seen the number 11, if you've seen the number 1, if you've seen the number 1111, it's very, very powerful. You'll hear a lot of times when I mention in my tarot card readings that the number 11 is a gateway, right? It really is a gateway. So when you see the number 11 or 1111, or even when you see 1, then that's the time to really listen to your inner voice. That's the true voice that's connected to divinity. It's actually connected to your soul. And so anytime you feel a sense of separation or division, I need you to tune in. See how this 1111 looks like a gateway. You see the 1 and the 1, they're very, very grounded. And so they're also facing the universe. Okay? Very, very powerful. Very powerful to note that you're grounded. When you see 11, you're very, very grounded. Some messages are trying to come through to you, okay? So I need you to pay attention and really, really listening to what's happening when you see the number 11. Okay, so when we see the number 11, we not only see it how it's placed here, you can also look at your wall outlet and see it looks like the number 11. You can see these 2 candles right here. Right here, the number 11. Anytime you see anything in a straight line and it's facing to the sky and one part is grounded, like the number 1, you're seeing the number 11. So actually you see the number 11 around you more than you realize. Also, if you see the number 2 and 9. If you see the number 2 and 9, what is the total sum of 2 and 9? 11. If you see the number 3 and 8, what's the total number of 3 and 8? 11. And we're talking about root numbers, but 11 is a master number, right? If you see 4 and 7, you also see 11. Understand? You starting to understand what I mean? So if you see, like I said, if you see 3 and 8, if you see 4 and 7, if you see 5 and 6, if you see the number 119, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 9 is 11, right? That is how the universe is trying to get messages through to you. Pay very, very close attention. If you see the number 128, 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11, right? If you see the number 137, 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 7 is 11, okay? Very, very, very powerful, right? This is the time where you're listening to your inner voice. And so you have to not only listen, but you have to understand what the universe is trying to tell you. I'm going to get deeper into what the number 0 means, also the number 1. I'm going to go all the way through the numbers, including your master numbers, 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, and 99. To explain to you what all those mean and how all of this comes together, work together for your good. When you see yourself as number 1, when you truly see yourself as number 1, you don't see anyone else as competition at all. Because if they saw themselves as number 1 and you saw yourselves as number 1, there's nothing to compete. We all have our divine journey here, right? And so 1, again, you have this bottom part that's rooted here, but also this part right here leading you directly up to the universe. Notice that when you're by yourself, 1, you think clearer. You start to have a gush of fresh energy, fresh winds. You get to control how you think, right? Because you're number one. You're by yourself. That gives you an opportunity to think, to control your way of thinking. So if you're vibrating at a low frequency and you're saying, I'll never be wealthy, I'll never be happy, I'll never be married, I'll never have any children, you control that. Because the number one is the number of new beginnings and originality. You planted those thoughts in your mind, right? So one in itself is very, very powerful. But two magnifies number one. Two ones magnifies number one. So you become powerful, even more powerful. So when you see 11, that's powerful. When you see another one added to it, you see 111, you're becoming even more powerful, more sensitive to what the universe is trying to tell you. And then when you see 1111, you're becoming more powerful. Understand? Get it? One, by yourself, you're very, very powerful. You're receiving information from the universe, but because you're by yourself, and depending on what frequency you're vibrating on, if you start to tell yourself, I am number one, I have no competition, there's no one better than me, I am supreme. That's not arrogant. What it is you're telling yourself who you are. You're reminding yourself of who you are. Now, if you are tilted and out of balance, this is you vibrating at a low frequency. Okay? Which means you don't understand who you are. You've allowed the universe, you've allowed other people out there to tell you who you're not. They're dictating who you are. So instead of you allowing other people to dictate who you are, know who you are and magnify that. I hope I'm not losing anybody. The number one is extremely powerful. But imagine magnifying this, 1111. Even if you had one and then you put off to the side and you have 11, right? Then you have 3 ones. All of this is you. You. Magnified. You're receiving from the portal of the universe, telling you, reminding you, okay, you're original. It's time to get going with something. So let's say, for instance, you're by yourself. Let's just take away 11 for a second. Let's say you're by yourself. And you've been thinking, boy, I really need to get another job. I really don't like where I am, right? And your thoughts start flooding. But you allow your thoughts to start flooding in a high vibration mode. And you start thinking, yeah, I am gifted and talented in certain areas. So maybe I should start putting my resume out there. I don't have to be where I am. I can't control the people that I work for or work with. I can't control that manager or that boss or whatever title you've given them. I can't control what they do, but I can control me. I am number one, right? So you're allowing, at this point, the universe, you, and God, the Most High God, to speak to you and to guide your thought process, right? So now magnify that. Magnify how powerful you are, and all these ideas start to flood in, and you starting to think, you know what, I am powerful. Magnify that again. 1111. See how powerful you are when you start to see all these ones? But what's crazy about it is that you'll start to see ones in everything. You'll start to see 1111 in everything. You'll start to see 11. You'll start to see 111. You'll start to see 1111. But what's even more powerful is that the 11 will start to be magnified in everything. So let's say you're driving down the street let's put this to the side for just a second. Let's say you're driving down the street and someone has on their license plate 9 and 2. The first thing you'll go to is, that's an 11. OMG. What is the universe trying to tell me? What is the Most High God in the universe trying to tell me? That's what you'll go to. Because remember, when we talk about the number 11, you're already powerful by yourself, right? Immediately you'll see 11. You're already powerful by yourself. But at this level, you start recognize that you are a seer. You're enlightened. There's an inner light in you, okay? When you start to see that. And let's see, you walk into a building and you see 8 and 3. OMG, you'll start to see this instead. You'll start to see 11 instead. You understand what I'm saying? Let's say you'll start looking at receipts and let's see if your total comes out to $47 or $74. What will you see? You'll see 11. This is your awareness being heightened. This is when you know that inner light has come on inside of you, and now you're starting to see 11 in everything. Why? Because you recognize that you are number 1. 1, you're grounded, you're receiving your information directly from the universe, and so when you see 11, now it becomes a portal. See this opening? You become a gate, it becomes a gateway. So it's amplified now. And then when you see this, it becomes even more amplified when you see 111. But boy, oh boy, when you see this, you start to say, OMG, look at all this information that's coming through. You're the conduit to receive all this information, all these mystic messages. You, number 1, have the power to change your reality, what you see with your naked eye. You can go into another dimension because you're number 1. These are portals for you to receive your instructions to go to the next level. I hope I'm not leaving it. I hope I'm not losing anybody, because this is very important to note. When I read cards and I pull that last oracle card out and I talk about numbers and I explain to you the significance of that number, it is not by coincidence. This is you receiving through these portals, because by default you are 1. Okay, I'm not even going to get into the number 0 yet, because then I will start losing a couple of people, because 0, the number 0 in itself is extremely powerful. And the reason why 0 is so powerful is because 0 represents the God number. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, because today the focus is 1 and 11, primarily the number 11 being a gateway, a portal for you to receive information from the Most High God in the universe. But just know, by yourself, you are very, very powerful. That is why people who recognize how powerful they are and they are totally aligned with the universe and the Most High God, they recognize their power. They know exactly who they are. And so they say, I can be anything I want to be. If I decide today I want to be an astronaut, I know I can do it. If I decide today I want to be a numerologist, I know I can do it. If I decide today, I want to start a new business, I can do it. If I decide today I don't want to work for anybody else and I want to go out and strike out on my own, I can do it. Okay? All right? So again, the number 1 by itself is about new beginnings and originality, right? It's about free will. It's about individual pursuit. It's about innovation and being daring. That's number 1. When you are perfectly aligned with the universe, you are at 1. Okay? To receiving divine information, that portal, your gateway, when you start to see 11, that's you're tuning into a channel that's for your highest good. And so that is your inner teacher. That's your inner teacher. So you're receiving information from the Most High God in the universe But look how magnified it is. The more ones you see, the more you're receiving this divine information. Oh my goodness. And how about, okay, how about, remember I said this right here, 11, number 1 is magnified in 11. Like double that. When you see 3 ones, it's 3 times that, the portal. Then you see 4 ones, it's 4 times that, the portal. So you are receiving all this divine information when you see the, first of all, knowing that you're number 1, that's first, okay? Very, very powerful. But how about when you see 11? How powerful that is. Extremely powerful. That's a gateway and that's a portal. So speaking of root numbers, let's move the 11 over to the side for a second, right? What's 1 plus 1? 2. 2 is a number of very psychic energy, right? But because at a 1, you haven't fully understood your power at a number 1, when you reach a number 2, when you're at a level 2, this is, you're receiving psychic information. You're actually, you may call it your intuition or your gut feeling. So a lot of people that are at the level 2 are very quiet about their psychic abilities, right? But when you when you're at a number 11, when you see this portal and this gateway, you're more open and receptive. I hope I'm not really losing anybody, and I hope it doesn't sound too confusing, because when you're at a level 1, when you know that you know, and this is for my high vibrating number 1s, when you are a number 1 and you know beyond all shadows of a doubt that you are a number 1, you know exactly where you're receiving your information from. You're receiving it from the Most High God in the universe, your original, right? But if this is tilted, if this is out of alignment, or you're vibrating at a low frequency, see, if this 1 is sideways and out of alignment, it's not grounded anywhere. Right? This is people that's vibrating at a low frequency, not grounded anywhere. But when you turn it up right and you turn it up straight, I like teaching with children's cards, because it's almost like, you know, we're learning, when we're learning, especially something that was not taught in school, we're starting from like baby stages, right? So it's so important that you teach your children or people that are, you know, the youth in your life, the importance of numbers. We're not talking about math. We're not talking about mathematical equations. We're talking about numerology, the study of numbers and the numbers and their vibrations attached to it. So yeah, this is very, very important. So if you are seeing the number 1, the number 11, the number 111, the number 1111, and you can take it as high as you want to. Just know that there are portals. These are portals for you to receive information from the Most High God in the universe. Hope that makes sense, okay? All right. Have a great day. Bye.